Hey, it's Robgillt, Robgillt Cars, Cape Town Auto Spares. And today, I want to talk to you a little bit about your brakes. Do you need brakes? I suppose you do. Um, yeah, you might need to stop the car. So brake pads, brake discs, what are they? Why do you need them? Why do you need them to stop, obviously? Let's get to it. So effectively, your brake pads are usually in the front. These days, most cars have got them all around. In the old days, they used to have drums at the back, which had brake shoes. These days, we've got brake pads in the front of the car. They clamp onto a steel disc. When you press the brakes, it slows the car down and helps you stop. Now, if you didn't have those, the other option is to have an anchor. Throw it out, wait for the car to stop, or maybe a parachute, which will slow you down over time. It might not stop quite as quickly as a set of brakes, but yeah. But that's it. You get different materials in brakes. Now, I don't know if you've ever watched motor racing, but you'll see that, for example, a Formula One car, when the guy hits the brakes, the car just stops immediately. Whereas on a normal car, you hit the brakes, the same sort of hardness, it'll just keep on going. And that's because, in a normal car, you really don't want that kind of stopping power. And it's also really expensive to do that in the first place, and it's all about performance in a racing car. Whereas in a normal day-to-day car, you want brakes that are comfortable, easy to use, a car that will stop in a reasonable distance quite well, okay? And you want the pad material to also last a reasonable period of time, okay? Coffee is so good. Anyway, you don't want your brake pads to last 10 seconds and be super soft and great, and you don't want your brake pads to last forever, and when you hit the brakes, the car just keeps on going. Okay, so you got to find that happy balance. Now, a lot of work goes into the testing of brake pads by the manufacturers. A lot of testing goes into it. They test for brake fade. Brake fade is when you've braked a few times on, say, a canyon where it's pretty dangerous, and suddenly you've got no brakes left because they fade. They run out of, they get hot and they just don't work. So there's a lot of testing that goes into this, and they choose specific brands and specific people that make the brake pads according to their specification. So when you go and buy brake pads and you're looking for the cheapest brand, be extremely careful, because what these cheap brands do is they promote to you that we can sell you the same product at a much cheaper price, but it's not the same product. It's some material that they've thrown together, they put it in the car, and it really doesn't work. So not only is it dangerous, it probably doesn't last long, it makes brake dust, it's soft, it squeaks, it squeals, it does all these nasty things, okay? So we tend to try and sell top quality brands that are related to the manufacturers, that know what it's all about. So brands that for example, Ferrari is a good example. They're out there, they and I'm not getting sponsored by them or anything to that effect, quite honestly. I'm just mentioning them as in passing, okay? And it's a brand that is related to original equipment manufacturers. They have done testing with the manufacturers, and while they won't be dealing with every manufacturer, they have a good idea of what to do with the parts, okay? And in most cases, they are original equipment suppliers to specific brands, and you get the exact original equipment when you purchase that pad. And then there are a couple of others that we sell as well, which are in the same vein or same line. So it gives you that happy medium, that good brake pad, the brake pad that's not going to let you down. And you just remember, let's say for example your brake pad is poor quality, or it's really too hard or something to that effect, it's going to wear your brake disc down much quicker as well. Now a brake disc is a really much more expensive part, not only as a part but also in labor to change, because you have to change the whole disc, or skimming or that sort of effect. So a poor pad will wear your disc down quicker as well, even though it's steel, because discs wear down. They narrow down, and you want to try and keep that thickness as long as possible. Because who wants to change brake discs? It's really just an irritation. So changing your brake pads, make sure you put good quality in to protect the rotors for longer as well. They call them rotors, they call them discs as well. Protect them for a longer period of time so they last longer in your car. That's so important because the longer they last, the less expense you've got, right? And if those things wear out completely and they shatter while you're driving, safety critical. You're not going to stop, and you don't have the extra anchor or parachute to throw out and stop you. Or you can't put your foot through the floorboards like the Flintstones and try and stop the car. You know, you really need the brake pads to do the job. So keep that in mind when you're buying your brake pads. Choose the correct quality, choose good stuff. Rather pay a few cents more now than a few cents more later. Okay, that's always my thought on the matter. Guys, go and check the shop out in the description below, and go and give the like button a good old kick and see how far you can smack it, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, and follow me on Instagram. Really important. You get all these videos first, you get to know the information. At the moment I'm still talking to you about the parts. In future we're going to have a little bit more fun as well, going to add a little bit more. But right now we're just going through all the parts so that you guys get a good idea of what to buy, what not to buy, and when to buy it. So, well, the sooner you buy it, the better. It's easy to purchase online. You just go down, choose your part, click on the button. If your part's not there, give me a shout. Let me see what I can do for you. Thanks for watching. Till next time, guys. Robgillt. Cheers.